voters. They didn't want to serve one person in one moment in time. They just didn't care. And I think we still have a great, excellent system. Are there momentary personal frustrations sometimes? Sure. Look, I have my share of them too. It's not like none of us are exempt from this. But at the end of the day, we have a system that has served us successfully for more than 2 centuries, and it will continue to do it if we let it.
We have time for one short question, and then quick answers as well.
Sure, I will keep it brief. My name is Michael Hannon. I have a question that zooms out a little bit from this issue, but I think it's sufficiently related to this, and I think this panel would be very expert on the topic. I'm curious less about how we tally the votes we cast, and more about what the casting of those votes looks like. I know in Britain and in Australia there's been a lot of heated debate, and in some places in Australia quite recently, about the difference between kind of a first-past-the-post system of voting and what's called the alternative vote, or different forms of alternative vote, where you don't just pick one candidate, that's where you throw all your chips, but you have kind of a ranking system for various candidates. There's various ways that you can structure this, but that there seem to be some pitfalls with first-past-the-post that might avoid, maybe by ushering in some of its own. But I was curious, has anything like that ever really come to the forefront of the conversation in America? And do you think that there are any significant relationships between that and the current question about the relationship between the Electoral College and the way we elect our presidents?
Anyone have a quick response?
If you're on a law faculty or any faculty, you quickly learn about the dangers of so-called strategic voting and prioritization, and that's a long discussion. But the other point is that what the founders wanted to do was to create stability. And every time somebody comes up with a problem and they think we got to change things because we got a problem, they create the really big problem, instability.
I think I would just say real quick, I think that it probably leads to the same problems as a runoff system. Just because if you give voters, you're basically giving them a second chance to vote, right? They're doing it all at once because they're ranking individual or whatever it is, but you're basically giving them multiple chances to vote. And anytime you do that, you undermine the two-party system, which somebody asked this is a frustration I know some people have, but I would just suggest that our strong, stable two-party system is a lot better than the alternative, the multi-party fractured state of affairs that you see in European governments sometimes.
Thank you.
All right, that concludes our program, but I hope you will join me in giving a round of applause to our panelists. Thank you.